Hey everyone, Jamie Makes here from Mist Paper, and today I'm sharing the process of creating a double page 6x8 layout for my 2021 Pocket Album. I used the new Daily Practice stamp set from Everyday Explorer, which is now available in their shop.
So I'm really excited to be using this new stamp set from Everyday Explorers Co. It's called Daily Practice and was created by Christine. I just loved the kind of mix of sentiments and different things that are in here. But specifically, my most favorite stamp in this is Celebrate the Good Things, Everyday Magic. I just love that because pretty much you could use that anywhere in your scrapbooking. So this is the stamp set I'm going to be working with today. I pulled a few photos that I'm planning to use to incorporate into my 6x8, I guess it's kind of like Project Life album. I don't know, it's just where I've been recording kind of the everyday stories of life this year. So it's gonna go into 6x8 album. It'll be a double page spread. One side of the spread is this entire 7x8. So this isn't gonna be inside a page protector. It's just gonna be hanging out in my album, and I will put some, I'll punch holes in it directly and probably just back it with some pattern paper so it's a little bit sturdier. I'm not gonna try to like figure out another story to tell on this side because I just don't want to limit myself to this specific size for any future storytelling. So I plan to just add a sheet of pattern paper on the back and call it a day. I may even make my own pattern paper using the stamp set. We'll see on that, but I know that I'm going to be incorporating these two photos, and then also I have cut this just 4x6 sheet of white cardstock that I'm planning to use as my journaling for this story. You'll see me incorporate the stamps in a few different ways, I'm hoping. I don't really have this planned, so what we create today together is what is going to end up in my album. One thing I didn't mention was my color choices for this. So I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to incorporate these three photos to tell one story in my 6x8 album, and I intentionally colored this black and white just so it wouldn't be as distracting. The color wouldn't be as distracting, and that you'd really just then be able to focus on this photo of my mom and my husband. My husband is making meatballs and like his grandmother's homemade sauce for my mom and me to have for dinner. And she is such a cooker. She loves cooking. She loves learning about cooking. So she was just sitting there listening to everything he had to say about, preparing this meal and asking him tons of questions. And it was just a really great, sweet moment. And I thought Celebrate Everyday Magic, the good things, was like the absolutely perfect sentiment to use for that. So I have these photos, and what I ended up doing was looking at this one, which is my most bright and colorful one, and pulling the various stamp inks directly, the colors that I wanted to use directly from this photo. So I have Pink Fresh Persimmon, Studio Calico Lemon Zest, Studio Calico Yes Peas, Studio Calico Limelight, Studio Calico Clear Blue, and then Pink Fresh Slumber. And are they perfect matches? No, not at all. But I think that they work well enough. And honestly, I just really like this color combo together. I like the greens and the blues with the orange and the yellow. I think it'll look really cool. I think what I'm planning to do is I want to stamp, I think, Celebrate Everyday Magic. Celebrate Everyday Magic. I think I want to stamp it a few different times here. I may even stamp it onto other white cardstock, punch it out, and then adhere it maybe with some foam dots to give it a little bit more dimension. I'm thinking that I want to have some kind of lines here where I would write my journaling. And so I have this other stamp set. It's called Mix Marks. Felicitas designed this one for Everyday Explorers, and I'm thinking I might use this and just kind of stamp it a few times here with some lighter just gray ink, and that'll be the foundation for like my journaling. And it's not going to be perfect. These are marks. These aren't like graphic linear perfect lines, but I just think it's a good place to kind of house my journaling. And then since this set also has a bunch of different has a bunch of different prompts, like what I need to know today, journal prompt, I'm thinking I might use the what I need to know today one, just kind of here to start off my journaling. So now let's get to plan.
The first thing I did was focus on my 4x6 journaling spot. I just cut down a piece of white cardstock and I'm using the Mark Maker stamp set to add just those little grid lines using some Distress Oxide ink. It's a subtle gray color, so I feel comfortable that I'll be able to write on top of it and it not distract or be too busy with my journaling on top of it. And then using the various colors I had pulled of stamp ink, I am stamping that same sentiment over and over again on the right-hand side of the 4x6 journaling card, and then also on a scratch piece of white cardstock, because my plan is to punch those out and potentially put them either just on top of those existing stamped circles or maybe just elsewhere on my page. The stamp set comes with two little sparkles, is what I call them. I don't really, they're just a shape, and to me they look like sparkles, so I'll call them sparkles. And I love these shapes. I think they're the perfect little filler stamp just to add a little bit extra to your pages, to your journaling cards, to your cards. I mean, I just love the additional design element that it adds. And so I'm stamping the two of them over and over again using the various colors of ink and just trying to balance the color around. I had originally stamped a journaling prompt from the stamp set, but it was kind of blending in when it was just stamped directly onto the background. So I added a label that had a orange outline and I stamped the same sentiment just over on top of it again. There you saw me just punching out the little circles, and now I'm adding two of them back on top of the existing circles with some foam underneath them, some foam adhesive, so that there's a little bit of dimension there. I'm trying to figure out how else to embellish this, so I went to my labels and I pulled a gray label to add to the bottom corner of that 3x4 photo. There wasn't really anything happening in that photo, and especially or in that corner of the photo, so I felt no problem adding a label directly over top of it. But I didn't stamp it very well the first time, and I tried to re-stamp it, and it didn't look well either, so I just stamped it one more time on a different label and adhered it over top. For the other side of the page that is outside of the page protector in size 7x8, I decided that I wanted to create my own pattern paper using the same stampings and the same stamp sets, just to add some color to this black and white photo. So I have just a scrap piece of pattern paper. I added the grids from the Mark Maker stamp set in the background, and then I used what was actually I think the full moon as a polka dot, really. And then I filled it in with more of those little sparkles. Again, I just love those little sparkles. And because I used Distress Oxide for the grid, it actually has kind of a resist feature to it. So that was interesting to see. It's really cool in person. I stamped There's Magic in the Air on a little tag, and I'm planning to add it to the left-hand side of that enlarged photo. And I made myself just a little template so I would know how large I needed how wide the photo needed to be, and then I'm trimming it down so that it's 7x8 and will fit nicely in my album. I will just then have to add or punch the 6-hole punch out. And I add my little tag in the bottom. Add some staples. I just like to add that for more texture and dimension. And then the last bit that I add to this page is some washi tape from my stash. I just grabbed a black and white set and added in a few places around on my layout just to bring some continuity between the two pages, and add some staples and call it done. Here are the finished pages, and the color combo really is what makes an impact on this spread for me. For everything I use, check out the links in the description box on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like to like it and consider subscribing to this channel for more videos. I appreciate you. Jamie Makes, signing off.